A man was arrested for collecting rainwater on his own property. Check this out.
An Oregon man was convicted and sent to jail for collecting and using rainwater on his own property, sued by the state for theft.
People are absolutely outraged over this, and in this video, I'll tell you why I agree that the man should have been arrested. It's not what you think. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my freedom-loving friend. This is where we help spread the light of truth and freedom because truth conquers. Now, a basic freedom is breathing oxygen and collecting rainwater. You can't live that long without water. Does the government own all water? Well, this Oregon man was arrested for collecting rainwater on his own property. This is actually an old story, but it's going around social media all over the place right now, and people are outraged. We'll take a look at the outrage, and I'll also share with you why I agree he should have been arrested. Don't worry, I'm not a tyrannical, we just need more government. They should also own the oxygen. We should not have a right to rainwater. We shouldn't be able to drink water, and we shouldn't be able to breathe unless the government tells us we're allowed to. So there's a twist to this. We'll get to that. But first, here's a court case of another guy collecting rainwater, and the judge sides with we the people. Common sense. Here's how the case should go if you're ever in this situation.
He collects rainwater on his own land. The city called it theft and sued him. The judge asked one simple question that ended their case.
Your Honor, I live out in the county. I install barrels on my property to collect rainwater for my garden. The city sued me claiming I'm stealing water and violating laws. I'm just collecting rain that falls on my own property.
Your Honor, municipal code establishes that all water within city limits, including precipitation, is part of the public water supply. We're asking the court to order removal of his collection system and impose fines.
I bet she was all for some mandates too. She looks like she's got some of that Hillary Clinton DNA in her.
Counselor, let me ask you one simple question. Does the city own the rain before it hits the ground?
I can't speak to that.
Because it sounds absurd. He is collecting water on his own land for personal use. That's not theft, that's common sense. Case dismissed.
And that is common sense. It's your land. You're collecting rainwater that falls on your land. I mean, for crying out loud, it is your land. Even though you look at property taxes and you kind of realize this is kind of a scam too. Property ownership, like it's my land. Why do I have to pay property taxes to the government every year after I bought it? It kind of makes it feel like I'm renting this land. Am I actually a landowner? Well, you're told you are, but you're not. But to the case at hand, with the injustice that has people all over Twitter and likewise TikTok just outraged about this guy being arrested and jailed for 30 days for collecting rainwater on his own property. And we'll take a look at some of the outrage. But first, here's the highlights of the case. We'll get back to the video in a second, but first, bro, you're about to step in dog poop. So you've been doing all the right things. Better foods, earlier nights, more walks, but you're still waking up tired? That's not normal. That's your body telling you it needs help. But imagine one nightly ritual that finally allows you to rest, recover, and recharge. And that's Magnesium Breakthrough. 7 forms of magnesium plus the exclusive passport delivery system that actually gets it into your cells where it works. It helps you sleep deeper, calms your nerves, and recover faster so you can show up strong for everything that 2026 throws at you. And they'll probably throw a lot at you. Just be honest. Oh, and here's something you might not know. Most magnesiums out there only use 1 or 2 cheap forms that your body can't absorb. But Magnesium Breakthrough uses 7 real doses that work. That's why it's been a part of my nightly routine for 5 years and counting. During the New Year, New You event, get up to 35% off select Magnesium Breakthrough bundles. Go to buyoptimizers.com/JPReacts and use code JPReacts. Start 2026 rested, not burned out, because resolutions require real rest. Now back to the video. You actually did step in it.
An Oregon man was convicted and sent to jail for collecting and using rainwater on his own property, sued by the state for theft. Rancher Gary Harrington built 3 large reservoirs on his own land to collect rainwater and snowmelt. He claimed the water was primarily for fire protection reserves and for providing water to wildlife. But the state called it theft and prosecuted Gary. A municipal code stipulates that all water within city limits, including precipitation, is part of the public water supply. The city requested the court order the removal of his collection system and impose a fine. Despite Harrington's repeated appeals, arguing, "The water fell on my land, I'm not selling it. I'm simply using it on my own property." The court ultimately rejected his claims. Harrington was found guilty on multiple charges, including unlawful appropriation of state water resources. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined over $1,500. The incident sparked intense backlash. Residents said it was simply tyranny. If a person cannot own the rain that falls on their own land, what do they actually own?
What will they actually own? Well, you'll own nothing and be pretty damn happy about it. Let's take a look at some of the outrage people have on this video posted. Too many politicians view citizens as human livestock on their tax farm. Yeah, it's pretty well said, actually. Another comment, every judge and prosecutor and police officer involved in that travesty should have their credentials stripped. Yeah. Another one, but will let people OD on the street like zombies. There you go. Finland, allegedly, takes this one further. They tax you for the rainwater that falls on your land. Not a joke. I hope he's joking. Every single one of these people have been tricked and rage baited, including this foreigner guy criticizing our ways. Take a look.
This is going to be the craziest story you've heard today. A man in the US collected rain that fell atop his roof in his compound using his own containers, and the state has sent him to jail for collecting that water. They called it theft, and also they fined him to pay about $1,500. I think you should watch this video because this is crazy.
And then he does a video criticizing the whole thing. And then here's another article, man imprisoned for collecting rainwater. All these people have been tricked because for whatever reason, the aspect of the story that's being presented is just a sliver. Here is why I agree this guy deserved to get arrested. Quick summary from Twitter, which is actually not hard to come by instead of getting just frantic online. Yeah, just like Twitter will actually tell you this right by the same story that just pissed you off. In a 14-year-old case from Eagle Point, Oregon, rancher Gary was sentenced to 30 days jailed, $1,500 for maintaining, here's where it gets good, 3 large unpermitted reservoirs that impounded water from public creeks on his 170-acre property. Oregon law requires permits for such structures to protect downstream users during shortages, and courts rejected his claim that the water was just rain and snowmelt from his land, while small-scale rooftop rain harvesting remains legal without permits. The story's recent revival strips away this key context about the dam size and impact on streams. So, ladies and gentlemen, the key detail that is not being presented, I think purposely so, just to piss off people like you and I that are like, don't infringe on me, government, is this. His reservoirs, I completely support his right to have reservoirs, impounded water from public creeks. In other words, and you can read another write-up about this, he created dams in public creeks, diverting the water into his own reservoirs. So a public creek, probably agree, like it's probably where water should be. Like it's public, like you can't steal like all of that. And then there's the downstream effect. Where does that water from the public creek flow to? Other people, animals, wildlife. So what this dude did was dammed the water, diverting it into his own private reservoirs for his own use. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very different than having rainwater collection on your property, which, just for clarity, in Oregon, place where this is all taking place, here's what you need to know. Yes, it's legal to collect rainwater in Oregon. You can legally collect rainwater from your rooftop without a permit. Great, as it should be. Don't even, tell me I need a permit. No. As it should be. You cannot collect water from natural sources like rivers, streams, or groundwater without a water rights permit. And I agree, that protects the rest of the public from someone trying to get greedy, use that water for their own purposes, own gain, whatever that might be. And in fact, with his little public creek dam diverting. I'll take all that water for myself. Thank you very much. On the headlines, I'm going to say, just collecting a little rainwater on my own property. Yeah, that water technically came from the rain. It wasn't on your own property, but you diverted it to your own property. You collected nearly 13 million gallons of water, most of it stolen from the public, enough to fill 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I support this guy being arrested. It's not what you think in the headlines, but there probably will come a day where the government knocks on your door and says, are you using rainwater that fell on your property? Yeah, just put a cup outside. Well, that's not yours. The government owns that. Did you know we the people own the government? Not on our watch, bucko. By the way, pay your oxygen tax. Let me know what you think about this story. Did you get fooled? I got fooled at first until I looked into it. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, look for the whole story before you get riled up.